Pritchard Hill is a place. This wine is also like an idea.
It's a big wine, it's concentrated, it's got big tannins, but they're very smooth.
It's so enveloped, it just becomes like this rich kind of guiding experience to the end.
It will go down in history as a great vintage for Chappellet. We knew we had challenges in 2021.
21 was an interesting season. It was a drought year.
And that was the first year we started off without full reservoirs. So we had to start working early. It was trying to get things done as early and as often as we could, and whether it was mowing the grass, suckering, getting irrigation down.
In 21, I had vineyards all over Napa, Sonoma that I was helping to manage, and not only were we mowing, we were cultivating in February.
The soil of the top 3 or 4 feet of soil didn't get that moisture throughout the season, especially towards the end of the season, that gave that another reservoir of water holding. And so because of that is the reason I imagine why you were cutting all the weeds, suckering early.
Well, absolutely. The ground is our best reservoir early in the season. You know, that's what holds the water that's going to get these vines to push and build the canopy we need them to build. Our job was to eliminate competition that was going to take what little water we had in that reservoir.
And the vines made it through.
They did make it
Most
through.
of them.
Most of them made it through. It was a light year. It was a light year.
I remember thinking that year that I'm glad I'm not the vineyard manager. That's one of those times you look out there and you go like, glad it's your problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys got a lot of soul searching to do.
There were certainly a few sleepless nights, let's put it that way. You figure out what, you get an idea of what blocks and what areas need that attention early in the season and what areas need the attention late in the season. In August, heat wave. I think it just comes with time. It comes with just, being out there and learning how this hill reacts to certain situations.
You've grown grapes, all these different places. I've made wine from all around the valley, from the valley floor, from the western hills, the eastern hills, but you can't reproduce this. I mean, this is Pritchard Hill. It tastes like the terroir of Pritchard Hill, and you can't just go 20 miles down the road to the south or to the north or to the west and come up with this wine. So this speaks to, your parents made a really good decision, not just for the view, which is fantastic, but little did they know they were buying land in what would become one of the greatest Cabernet growing sites in the world.
Philip, it's the vineyards. I get it. It's property. It's that. But other people might not have had such sensitivity as you all have.
It's the time that we've all had up here to learn this hill. I mean,
we're getting. I see some glasses.
I might need one. It's Philip and Ry's intimate knowledge of what little nooks and crannies of this hill can do to add to this kind of wine.
I think that's the start. Each vintage is obviously different, but there's like this place that through analysis or through sensory, through blending, we try to reach this place every year that is Pritchard Hill. And it's a little bit hard to describe. We all know it for ourselves on the blending panel, but I think you know it when you taste it. But sometimes it takes 20 sessions and sometimes it takes 30. It's just erratic that way because vintages all change.
Not every lot, you could go into it, right, but not every lot is created equal. We have 100 acres, but on any given year, who's to say what's the best?
But it really comes down to the tasting panel in the end, that's almost a 2-year process. I think what I remember about 21 that really stood out is we had progressed a certain amount of way through the summer of 22 blending. And try as we might, we were just kind of stumbling. And this is where experience comes in. Philip just put a halt. Do you remember that, Philip? What made you feel that?
I just knew that if we pulled the trigger on a blend at the same time when we normally do, that we could have regrets, and that we just had to get to know each lot a little. Like, things were like volatile. It was, let's go through harvest, let's wait 5 months, it'll all be here when we're done.
The wines had really relaxed into a place where we could identify all of that good quality.
When I smell it, look at it, and then taste it, I get similarities all the way through. I'm not getting a different flavor structure when I taste this.
Big black fruit, blue fruit. You know, I think what you guys did with the barrel work really shows through this.
It says something about these two guys. But Cyril, you're right on the mark. Like, it's nice, dark, inky color, perfectly matches the nose, which perfectly matches the palate.
When I see a wine that looks like this, automatically my brain says it's going to be great. It's like it already tells me something about the wine, because this is not a color. Most wines never have this kind of color. If we had released this wine a year ago, it would have been kind of rough, and you'd think, oh, it's really young, it needs time. But that extra year of letting it rest in the bottle, all of a sudden things really calm down, and the sort of the tannin kind of knits together, and it doesn't seem so harsh. But it's all about age, with Cabernet.
And this is just the beginning, right? This seems like a wine that can just go the distance. You can choose to drink it now or in 10, 20, 30 years if you can tolerate sitting on it that long. It does seem like it's got major potential.
I think we were really successful with it and made overall a really beautiful and really very concentrated, very dark, very rich but balanced wine. This is the most important thing that we can do as winemakers. This is the goal of the winery, to make this stellar world-class wine, and it's so fun to do at the same time.